Well, it's a little hard to talk about my journey only in the corporate domain because I really have a very strong belief that family plays a very important part.
Correct.
So I'll try and hopefully answer your question. And I'll try to answer it in 14 points.
Okay.
Point 1, I'm almost 80 in the evening of my life. Point 2, I grew up in a family with modest means. Point 3, the seminal event in my life occurred when I was 17. Duria, who was then 14, permitted me to hold her hand. Point 4, we married on August 15th, 1969. I was 24, Duria was 21. My father-in-law sent me what turned out to be a prescient card. Quote, "Welcome to our family. On this day, India won her independence. You, my dear son, just lost yours." Never have truer words been spoken. Point 5. The first time I ever sat in a plane was in 1997, aged 22, when I traveled to New York. I had a scholarship for graduate studies and $7 in my pocket. This is, by the way, when the dollar was worth 7 rupees, not 84 as it is today.
Correct.
On-campus employment and work off campus at a fast food restaurant put food on the table. Indeed, those were very difficult years. Point 6. I joined Sperry Univac, a 77,000 employee computer mainframe manufacturer. In 13 years, I rose from program manager to president information systems at the age of 37, overseeing 40,000 staff. Point 7, I will tell you, I am fiercely independent. I was always determined that looking back, I would have left my footprints in the sand, not follow somebody else's. There was no, point 8, there was no exit strategy at Verifone. It was a company built to last, not flip. Even today, in 2024, I'm proud to say that Verifone still exists as a standalone company. Point 9. What is commonplace today, email, collaboration across time zones, and so on, was unheard of in 1986. At that time, even those very concepts were revolutionary. I, in fact, remember prognosticating in 1989 that the post office may be obsolete because my sister in Mumbai would correspond with me in San Francisco via email. And I think, again, at the risk of repetition, these are concepts 10 years before the advent of the internet. In 1988, point 10, in 1988, we set up a development center in Bangalore. This was a path-breaking, risky initiative. In-house email, which was totally proprietary at that time, obviously, and the Verifone culture is why I took the gamble. In fact, we were the first US-based startup to set up a development center in Bangalore long before it was fashionable to do so. In-house email and the strong Verifone culture also enabled us to set up development centers in Honolulu, Hawaii, Taipei, Taiwan, Paris, France, Atlanta, Georgia, Dallas, Texas, and Auburn, California. 2.11. Two Harvard Business School cases have been written in 1994 documenting what at that point in time were radical organizational approaches. Point 12. I ran Verifone as a privately held company for 4 years. Then I IPO'd on NASDAQ, and then I ran it as a publicly held company for 8 years. Except it wasn't 8 years, it was 32 quarters. And anybody who's been the CEO and chairman in the US running a publicly held company will relate to the quarters, because as we all know, we all faced the tyranny of the quarter. We sold in 1997 to Hewlett Packard. Hewlett Packard paid a 77% premium to acquire Verifone. Point 13. I left in 1998. From 1998 to 2018, I was actively running companies in the US, Singapore, Australia, India, Canada, and Europe. I also served on many private and public company boards. One of those boards was 17 years at the consumer electronics retailer Best Buy. The last 5 as chairman. Point 14. At age 73, after a severe stroke, doctor's prognosis was that I would never walk or drive again. I also went into cognitive decline. I'm happy to say that certainly, at least in my case, mind triumphed over matter. Intense physical therapy, very painful, finally resulted in my brain relearning. After a year after the stroke, I could walk, and after 2 years, I could drive. Recovering from cognitive decline, however, is a work in progress. And frankly, I do not think I will ever get back to my pre-stroke self.
Thank you so much for summarizing your professional journey so lucidly, extremely inspirational, something that I'm sure everyone can draw from.